All right. Man needs no introduction. I'm going to do it anyway. 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, World Series champion, Pedro Martinez. Pedro, it's a real pleasure to have you here at Legends Attic. And let's start right here. I got a chance to listen to you and your brother and Oral talk all night long, and listening to the three of you guys talk about when you were all together on the Dodgers. It's the great heartache of all Dodger fans that we did not get a chance to keep you as long as we would have liked to. Kind of take me back to those moments when all three of you guys were together on the Dodgers when you first came up to the big leagues.
Well, I was like a kid in a candy store, sitting by those two guys. Ramon was a superstar at the moment. I was really young. A lot of second guessing over my body, but just having the opportunity to talk to the best two pitchers that the Dodgers had at the moment. One was my family. The other one was one of my heroes. Growing up and back in the Dominican, everybody wanted to be Otto Hershiser. So I had arguments with my cousins when we were about to start a little game because I wanted to be Otto first. But when they chose it first, then I had to become Dwight Gooden. Or,
Not bad.
Or maybe Roger Clemens, someone like that, Nolan Ryan, Brett Saberhagen.
Yeah.
I really like Brett Saberhagen as well. But what experience for me to actually have the opportunity to get some knowledge from Otto, from Ramon. Ramon was always on me, but to have the honor of sitting right next to Otto Hershiser, to me was like, wow, what a gift.
You mentioned those guys. You mentioned Oral. You mentioned your brother, Roger Clemens, Dwight Gooden, Brett Saberhagen, guys that were legends of the game. You're one of those guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. Do you think about, like, as you were going through your career, like hitting these milestones and thinking that, hey, there's a kid somewhere else. Maybe he's in Los Angeles. Maybe he's in Boston, Montreal, the Dominican, thinking, I want to beat Pedro Martinez. Is that a thought that goes through your head as you're going through it?
You know what? I took every game like it was my last because I was told so many times that I was too fragile to actually last too long in the big leagues. And I just enjoyed everything I did, everything. And that includes, the bad games and the heartbreaking moments. I enjoyed everything. Watching those guys that were legendary. Like I remember that 88 kind of record that Otto was holding. First of all, I wanted him to get the record. But then in the World Series, I never thought he was capable of doing so much. And that stuck in my mind forever. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be like Nolan Ryan, like Roger Clemens. I never thought about anything else but enjoying every single opportunity I had in the big leagues. Because there was a point where I had to actually second guess if my body frame was going to really hold. And I just enjoyed whatever moment I had. And I never thought about anything else. Just go out there and beat everybody as much as I could.
You mentioned Clemens. You mentioned Ryan. Those guys were really well known for pitching inside. You were very well known for pitching inside. What happened? Why doesn't anybody pitch inside anymore?
I think it's the limitations that are thrown out there. First of all, by the league. Also, what I think is really happening is that the pitchers nowadays are not trained long enough in the minor leagues to learn how to control the inner part of the plate. And I did struggle my first year as a starter with controlling the inner part of the plate. But it came back to me really quick because remember, my first year was totally in relief for the Dodgers. So I quit doing it as a starter. And then when I went back to start, I kind of lost, the little feel that you have for pitching, especially on the inner part of the plate. And I had a 97 or 98 mile an hour and really skinny and experimenting at being a starting pitcher in the big leagues.
All right, last one before we let you go. The Yankees are my daddy. When you said it, did you know that years later you'd be talking about it on TV? That would kind of become one of the signature calls for you as a player?
I didn't know that, but I just used probably a terminology that we have in winter ball. When you can't beat a player or you can't beat a team they become your daddies. So I use pretty much a terminology that's very common in the Dominican, in the Winter League. And it came back to bite me, but I certainly enjoy it. And I was really honest to just say that at the moment, I was struggling to beat the Yankees.
And you guys did beat the Yankees and you won the World Series.
Yes, we did.
Not
And
so
then we could ask them, who's your daddy now?
Who's your daddy now?
Who's your daddy now?
Awesome.
And that's pretty much a back and forth. But I'm extremely proud to always, be able to honestly speak and say what I feel.
Yeah. Well, you're very good at it. Love watching you on TV. Love watching you pitch.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
Pedro.
having me.
You got it. All right, we're here at Legends Attic once again talking about my favorite subject, Dodger baseball. We're here with Dodger legend Ramon Martinez. Ramon, second time we got a chance to talk, so this is exciting. We were talking a little bit before we got started about your relationship with Oral when you came up to the big leagues and kind of how he helped you with some of the things because you guys kind of attacked hitters similarly. You threw the ball similarly.
Yeah. Oral, he's a great mentor. Named as a Bulldog, and I was lucky enough to, in 1988, when we won the World Series. So I spent time with Oral. He was unbelievable. We were similar. He threw sinker. So also I learned how to throw sinker, and awesome. I mean, what Oral did in that World Series, it was unbelievable.
Is there a way to kind of explain how hard that to not give up a run for nearly 60 innings? I mean, it's the major leagues. Those guys get paid in the batter's box too. To not throw one hanging pitch, to not get a little unlucky, a bad call.
That was so amazing because I saw the whole trajectory of Oral being like it was like everything was perfect.
Yeah,
everything. He was no mistake. He would just painted it. He was, unbelievable. That was one of my great experiences that I have in the major league.
I bet.
I have a team.
What about you? You threw a no-hitter in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And is it one of those days where just everything is working and you feel you can put the ball wherever you want? Walk me through what that must feel like.
Yeah, it feels great because I remember that on the bullpen, warming up before the game, I was a little bit off the zone, the strike zone. So I was kind of wild a little bit. But those are the days where I feel comfortable to say, well, it doesn't matter what happened. And on the bullpen, then when the real time is when you come up, and sooner. I remember my first batter, it was a Chucky Carr, I think it was, a leadoff guy.
Yeah.
So he hit it like kind of like a swinging bunt between first and second, and it was a great play right away. So after that, it was like everything was working. It was like everything was perfect. So, great play. And, that's when you get excited. You're getting excited when you get into the fifth inning. That's when you
I
start
was just going to ask
thinking,
you, when do you start thinking about it a little bit? Because I'm sure you've taken it into the fourth and fifth and sixth inning, but all of a sudden, is it get real around the sixth, seventh inning?
Yeah, that's when you start feeling that little, like say, something going on. So to me, it was so amazing because I was perfect going to I think it was in the seventh. Going to the seventh, I was perfect. And I started feeling a lot of butterfly in my stomach.
Yeah.
And then once I walk, I got the only guy who got on base, and kind of catch a little breath. And then after that, everything was just perfect.
What was more nerve-wracking, the no-hit game or the 18 strikeout game? I mean, same idea, just mowing through guys.
Well, I think I was a little bit more nervous when I pitched my no-hitter. Not nervous, it's like excitement and, that butterfly. But because the difference when I struck out the 18 batter, I don't even knew that I did, that I tied Sandy.
Oh, wow.
On that record. And I would just strike it. It was just three going, it was like he won three guys. Hit like two between it. Like I got two in. Sometimes I got the three batter. Mm-hmm. So I remember having the first 15 batter. I had a 12 strikeout. So Both of those games, those are my memory. Those are my two
bet.
best games. Yeah.
When you watch the way that the game is played now, specifically the way that guys pitch now, every pitch, maximum effort, maximum velocity on nearly every time they let the ball go. Do you like watching that type of pitching, or do you like more the way that you pitch, the way that Oral pitched, the way that your brother pitched, where try to make it through 9 innings, try to set up a guy, maybe in the second inning, knowing that you might need to go back to something later in the 7th or 8th inning that you might not have shown him? Do you like the way it's done now?
Well, it's a little different compared from our era. That today max and effort, because I was a power pitcher, and I learned how to manage myself. And a couple years after, where I start watching, talking to Oral and watching Greg Maddux, how those guys, how could they can change speed, they can locate. So to me, it was very important to locate my fastball. Even I know that I have, I can hit it 95 plus. I could do that. So in case that I need it, it make me not to make that effort right away, because the difference between 1990, my first year, I was just trying to strike in everybody else. But once that I learned, I think, well, I don't need to go maximize every time, and that's the reason today. Today you see a lot of injury.
Yeah.
And it maximize. Every time you maximize and you're trying to hit a target, you're gonna miss most of the time. So that was the difference.
Ramon Martinez, always a pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.